Good. Okay.
Oleksandr Usyk's new training approach has shocked fans after the Rico press conference, as the heavyweight champion now looks completely locked in for one of the strangest challenges of his career. While Rico is preparing alongside Peter Fury, Usyk has been making some very calculated adjustments inside camp for this fight. It's clear he is not treating this like a normal boxing match, especially with Rico expected to bring size, pressure, and unusual movement into the ring. A lot of people thought Usyk would take this lightly, but everything coming out of camp says the complete opposite. So now the big question is, what exactly is Usyk changing in training, and why could it become a huge factor before May 23rd? Once he steps into the gym, the real deal begins. For hours at a stretch, Usyk practices shadow boxing, combination punching, and footwork drills over and over. His coaches notice every minor detail that comes up during training sessions. The sparring sessions can get pretty intense for him. Usyk carefully observes the other person while moving around the ring, as if he was planning 2 moves ahead of time. When talking about his training, Usyk once again made all the spectators burst into laughter at the mention of his height. In response to the remark made by Eddie Hearn several years ago about him being too little for the heavyweight category, Usyk quickly responded, noting that he had already proved that everyone was wrong and won against Anthony Joshua twice. Moreover, he continued the humorous exchange, stating that size does not matter and only intense training plays a role. Furthermore, he even said that good pasta contributed to his success. However, under all the fun, there was a clear hint from Usyk to Rico.
Do you remember when Eddie Hearn said you were too small to succeed at heavyweight? I just remember it. Have you taken that back now, Eddie, that statement?
I don't think that was, yeah.
Yeah, Eddie Hearn, true. I'm very small, but I beat him two times.
Yeah.
Eddie.
Oleksandr, it is wonderful to see you back. Oh, sorry, go on.
Eddie joking.
He's kidding. He's kidding. It's wonderful to see you back, Oleksandr. I think the boxing.
I really small, but size doesn't matter.
No.
I thought, yeah. It's just training, hard training, and good pasta.
Good pasta's good.
Yes, good pasta, double portion. Yeah, it's magic. My helping.
Your fuel.
Yes.
Your fuel.
Then Usyk became a little bit more serious, explaining his reasons for accepting the fight. He expressed his gratitude towards Rico and his team. He acknowledged the fact that many people raised a question of his selection of a person who is not a professional boxer. However, Usyk claimed that he had decided to do so by himself. For a long time, he has been hearing opinions on which type of fights he needed to take, but today he would fight just because he wanted to. It seemed that Usyk considered Rico as more of a task to solve rather than an enemy.
I feel good. Listen, hi everyone. I'm very glad to be here. I'm very happy back in UK. You know, I missed a little bit. 6 months, yeah, last time. Thank you so much. Thank you, organization who do this. Thank you, Rico. Thank you, Rico team. For me, it's a challenge. A lot of people say, "Why you choose a not boxer?" It's a great guy. It's a dangerous guy. You want, please. One time, I wanna do what I want, not what need, because a lot of time I do what need another people, and you have to boxing like this, you must boxing like this. I say okay. Now I do what I need. Thank you so much.
We'll come back to you in just a moment.
Rico also chimed in by saying that he knows that many people think that he is nuts for accepting such a bout, but added that anyone who wants to get the absolute top in their chosen discipline would be nuts. Rico continued his speech by discussing perfection and how seriously he took his discipline. However, while Rico also thanked Usyk for the opportunity, one could sense how confident he sounded in what he was doing. Rico thinks that this fight will not just be another promotional stunt, but a great chance to rewrite history.
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, all smiles, because what an opportunity we have to upset the world and write history. And exactly what Eddie said. Are you crazy? I think to be the very best at what you're doing, you have to be a little bit crazy. And I think that's not just me, I think that's in every vertical and every discipline. You do something, you have to be a little bit crazy and obsessed with what you're doing, and that's what I am. What I do to the point perfect, I do to perfection. In my vision, I love it, I enjoy it, I do it with so much passion, and I'm crazy excited to be here. Yeah, super thankful for the opportunity that Oleksandr Usyk is giving me. Like he said, he's doing something that he wants to do now, and he was open to the fight, he was excited about the fight, because it's something new, it's something different. We're bringing new eyeballs to combat sports in general. We're colliding two worlds together, kickboxing and boxing, to make the sport of combat even bigger.
Peter Fury also added more fuel to the build-up when he explained how Rico has been preparing differently for this challenge. He talked about how boxing is completely different from kickboxing, especially with stance changes and movement, but he made it clear Rico is taking everything seriously. Peter Fury praised Rico's mentality and said he is not coming for a paycheck. He even revealed Rico turned down bigger offers in other sports because this was the fight he truly wanted. That alone shows how locked in Rico is mentally. Fury also warned people not to underestimate Rico because heavyweight boxing only takes one moment to change everything.
The table then, firstly, great to have the great Peter Fury in the house with us as well here this evening. Peter, welcome. Just talk to us about your experience so far. You've worked with a lot of great fighters, but how's everything clicking together in the gym with this man? A new challenge for you as well as a coach.
Well, we go back a long way actually, about 15 years. So I've always done the boxing side with Rico and his trainer Dennis, but for kickboxing. So now it's a different ball game because it's boxing. Styles are different, stances, and 1 to 100, you name it. But if ever there's a guy who likes to climb Mount Everest, it's Rico Verhoeven. And he's a phenomenal person. He's just like Usyk. He's like Usyk in his beliefs, really nice guy, and he's a credit to the sport. So I can't speak highly enough of him. It's not going to be as easy as what people think it is, because nobody's here. He's not coming for a paycheck. He was offered a lot more money in other sports. He turned that down for this one. So he's super enthusiastic about it. And look, course, it's a difficult challenge. I think Usyk is the best heavyweight in the world, and he's earned it. And he's got my total respect. I think he's...
Usyk's team also gave a little insight into how seriously camp is being taken. His coach explained that at this stage of Usyk's career, they do not really focus too much on opponents anymore because they believe a fully prepared Usyk can beat anyone. Instead, their biggest focus is on keeping training effective and staying disciplined throughout camp. The interesting part was when they said training itself is what motivates Usyk now. That says a lot about his mindset heading into this fight. Even after everything he already achieved, he still sounds obsessed with improving and staying sharp, which could be dangerous for Rico.
In answer, I would put it this way. On this stage of Oleksandr's career, as a team, we focus not really on opponents. Opponents, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but when Oleksandr is ready, he can win with everyone. So we focus, the really challenge lies in maintaining safe, maintaining effective training process. And if you tell me about be hungry, about the motivation of Oleksandr, so this process now going very well, and I think so that training is something what motivates Oleksandr now.
Simon Jordan looks at this whole situation in a slightly different way because he doesn't think Oleksandr Usyk is chasing money like most fighters at this stage. He basically says Usyk fights because that's just who he is. It's not about squeezing out the biggest payday every time. So when a fight like this comes up, he doesn't see it as greed. He sees it more as Usyk staying active and taking what's there, especially when there aren't many real challenges left for him at the top. At the same time, he makes it clear he still rates Usyk extremely highly. He's not looking at this like Usyk is slowing down or picking something easy because he has to.
And the same for Usyk. The interesting thing for Usyk is, of course, he knows him. And there will be, I mean, I think Usyk wanted to maintain more of the money as well. I think part of the reasons why they split companies, Usyk didn't want to pay him the percentage that he was getting out of the fights. And of course, the level of Usyk's purses have gotten bigger and bigger, and so will the remuneration for other people have gotten bigger and bigger. And it won't have been lost on the fighter that the scale of his purses are being reduced by X factor, that someone he thinks perhaps he could do the job himself.
Yeah.
Now, there's nothing about Usyk that, first of all, the mindset of a fighter. Is Usyk a fighter that fights for money, or is he a fighter because he fights? I think he's a fighter because he fights, and I think the sideshow is the money that he gets now, and it's part and parcel of the shtick that goes with him. So the understanding the mentality of the man, he understands the mentality of the man better than anyone else. Is there any decline in Usyk? We just saw Usyk wipe the floor with Daniel Dubois. Wipe the floor with him.
Yeah.
As good as he's ever been, if not better.
Yeah.
There's no decline in him. He's at the pinnacle of his powers. And so the only fight that I would suggest that Usyk doesn't really want to be anywhere near is probably Moses Atoma, because that potentially has a legacy busting perspective. No one wants.
But then again, he changes his tone when it comes to the significance of the fight itself. While he is okay with the fight happening, he does not think it should be taken seriously within the context of a boxing competition, particularly when one considers title implications. It is at this point that the issue arises, because he now feels that the concept of dubious competitive significance is gaining some legitimacy. Jai Opataya talked about how crazy it is that a fight like this is happening at the pyramids, and how promoters are now putting on events in places that people would not normally expect boxing to go. The way he looked at it, the fight shows how far these new promoters are willing to go to make massive events and get attention. For Opataya, that is the bigger story around this matchup. Johnny Nelson says Usyk has already defeated all the top guys. Rematches for big paydays are not likely. He says that he doesn't see Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua as big paydays for Usyk. He believes that this fight is for the money and Usyk's position. Usyk has shown what he can do, and the goal is to make as much as he can while he's on top. He says that this is a smart business decision, not about the legacy. Liam Goh considered the possibility that Rico may be a threat after all. He agreed with the notion that Rico had some decent hands, was training with the right people, and perhaps Usyk was undervaluing him. However, Goh did not agree with those comments. Instead, he compared the current situation to previous crossover fights, stating that it was similar to previous examples where the results did not pan out as advertised. Liam leaned heavily into just how good Usyk actually is. He called him the best heavyweight of this era, and even put him in conversations as one of the greats overall. And his point was that if that's the level Usyk is at, then bringing in someone from a different sport isn't suddenly going to create a competitive fight. He even referenced how similar situations played out before, where people tried to convince themselves it would be closer than it really was. Both camps are clearly locked in, but now there's a different feel to it, with Anthony Joshua stepping into Oleksandr Usyk's setup for the Rico fight. Usyk is still focused on movement, control, and staying sharp, but having AJ in there adds size, strength, and real pressure in training. It's not just about drills anymore, it's about dealing with someone pushing back at a high level every day. That's what makes this even more interesting now. Let us know in the comments if you think this helps Usyk or changes anything going into fight night.